The pharmacy was quiet, except for the soft cough of a little boy pressed against his mother's shoulder. Laura Bennett, a 35-year-old single mother, stood at the counter, her faded green cardigan hanging loosely over her plain white t-shirt. Her worn jeans and old sneakers told a story of struggle and sacrifice. Before we dive in, show some love with a like and drop a comment. It really helps us bring you more powerful stories like this one. All right, let's jump right in. Laura's eyes darted nervously between the pharmacist and her son, Tommy, who was burning up with fever. She fumbled in her purse, counting out crumpled bills and loose change, knowing it wouldn't be enough. The prescription for Tommy's medication sat on the counter just out of reach, both financially and physically. As Laura whispered a desperate plea to the pharmacist, a well-dressed man in his mid-40s entered the pharmacy. James Hartley, a local millionaire known for his successful tech company, barely glanced at the struggling mother as he strode confidently to the counter. He placed his order for some basic toiletries and vitamins, his designer watch glinting under the fluorescent lights. Laura stepped aside, holding Tommy close as she tried to soothe his whimpers. She blinked back tears, feeling utterly helpless and invisible. James paid for his items and turned to leave, his expensive leather shoes squeaking on the linoleum floor. Just as he reached the door, Tommy let out a particularly painful cough. James paused, his hand on the door handle. Something about that cough, about the desperation in the air, made him turn around. And that's when he really saw Laura for the first time. Recognition flickered in his eyes as he took in her familiar features. Memories of high school flooded back. Laura Bennett, the kind-hearted girl who had tutored him in English when he was struggling. The girl who had believed in him when no one else did, who had encouraged him to pursue his dreams in technology. Without hesitation, James walked back to the counter. "Please," he said to the pharmacist, "add that prescription to my bill." Laura looked up, her eyes wide with disbelief and gratitude. James smiled softly at her. "Hello, Laura. It's been a long time." Laura's voice trembled as she replied, "James, I can't believe it's you." Tears of relief streamed down her face as she hugged Tommy closer. James paid for the medication and handed it to Laura, their fingers brushing briefly. "Thank you," Laura whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You have no idea what this means to us." James shook his head, his own eyes misty. "No, Laura. Thank you. I wouldn't be where I am today without your kindness and support all those years ago. This is the least I can do." As they talked, James learned of Laura's struggles as a single mother, working 2 jobs to make ends meet. He listened intently, his heart heavy with the realization of how different their paths had been since high school. In that moment, James made a decision that would change Laura's life forever. He offered her a job at his company, a position that would utilize her skills and provide a stable income. Laura was overwhelmed, hardly able to believe the sudden turn of events. Over the next few months, Laura thrived in her new role. She was able to provide a better life for Tommy, moving into a safer neighborhood and finally having the means to pursue her own dreams. James became a mentor and friend, always reminding her that she was the one who had set him on his path to success. Their chance encounter at the pharmacy had not only reunited old friends, but had also restored Laura's faith in humanity and her own worth. It served as a powerful reminder that acts of kindness, no matter how small, can have far-reaching consequences. As for James, the experience humbled him. He realized that his success meant nothing if he couldn't use it to help others. He established a foundation to assist struggling single parents, inspired by Laura's story. Years later, at a charity gala for the foundation, Laura stood at the podium sharing her story with a room full of donors. She spoke of that day in the pharmacy, of desperation turned to hope, and of the power of reconnection. In the audience, James listened with pride, knowing that his simple act of turning back had set off a chain reaction of goodwill. The story of the millionaire and the struggling mother became a beacon of hope in their community. It reminded people that behind every stranger is a story, and sometimes that story is intertwined with our own in ways we could never imagine. Laura and James's reconnection inspired others to look beyond appearances, to recognize the humanity in every person they encountered. It sparked a movement of kindness in their town, with people going out of their way to help strangers, always remembering that today's act of generosity could be tomorrow's lifeline. Tommy, now a healthy and thriving teenager, often asked his mother to retell the story of that day in the pharmacy. Each time, Laura would smile, her eyes distant with memory, and begin, "The pharmacy was quiet, except for the soft cough of a little boy pressed against his mother's shoulder." The tale served as a reminder to Tommy of the power of perseverance and the unexpected ways in which life can change. It taught him to always be kind, to never judge others by their appearance, and to believe in the possibility of miracles. As for James, the encounter had profoundly changed his perspective on wealth and success. He often reflected on how close he had come to missing the opportunity to repay a long-ago kindness. It made him more attentive, more present in his daily interactions, always on the lookout for chances to make a difference in someone's life. The story of Laura and James spread beyond their small town, featured in local newspapers, and eventually picked up by national media. It resonated with people across the country, a heartwarming tale in a world often dominated by negative news. Their story inspired countless acts of kindness, from strangers paying for each other's groceries to communities coming together to support families in need. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the most significant changes in our lives come from the most unexpected places. Laura and James remained close friends, their bond strengthened by their shared experience and the positive change they had brought to their community. They often collaborated on projects for the foundation, working tirelessly to create opportunities for others who were struggling. As years passed, the pharmacy where it all began became something of a local landmark. People would point it out to visitors, recounting the story of the millionaire and the single mother whose lives intersected at just the right moment. The pharmacy owner, who had witnessed the entire encounter, never tired of telling the tale to curious customers. He would always end with a gentle reminder: "You never know who might be standing next to you in line or what impact a simple act of kindness might have." And so, a chance encounter in a quiet pharmacy had rippled outward, touching countless lives and reminding everyone of the enduring power of compassion, recognition, and the bonds that tie us all together. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share it with someone who needs hope today, and of course subscribe so you never miss another powerful story. And hey, tap the notification bell so you're the first to know when the next one drops. We've got more inspiring stories waiting for you in our playlist. Dive in, get inspired, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for being here.